How amazing was it?
They handled it beautifully.
Yeah.
They're not forced and they're prominent to the story, but they're not important. Like more important than
Yeah,
our
they didn't
Spider-Man.
overshadow this version.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Spider-Man,
yeah, yeah.
which I think was the biggest. I guess think people were worried about, like how are they going to handle it?
They gave both of them justice, or how you said it.
Yeah, I mean they brought him back, not necessarily redeemed both of them, but definitely redeemed Andrew in the ending of Amazing Spider-Man, and really brought in. I mean, would you consider Tobey's being redeemed? Because he did have the symbiote.
Well, I like I said, we've talked about it. How I said Tobey's trilogy was, it ended off at not a good note, but it ended off well. They didn't really need to do any more towards him, but since Andrew's Spider-Man, they didn't really do much. So
yeah, they were just about to start running, and then they fucking.
It was more like they paid more attention towards Andrew.
You think so?
I loved Andrew.
Yeah,
Eric, you think?
In my opinion,
you think
I
that
think
too?
they did.
I feel like they just shifted around certain stuff because it was certain things that they did that like Tobey Spider-Man was more focused. Andrew's Peter was more focused. And with Tom, it's like they focused on both here. Like they did half and half, his personal life and his Spider-Man life.
Oh,
so
okay.
they was trying to do both sides.
But
You know what I
each
mean?
each Spider-Man had their own moment, which
Yeah.
really I whether there was a contractual thing or it was just always going to be playing out like this, I think was really really nice. Andrew with catching MJ.
Oh my god.
Which
Cried.
bro, so I did too. It was so emotional.
Yeah,
Like it just based on Andrew's acting in that moment.
I'm glad that everyone awed at when
when he started
up,
tearing up.
because I've seen other people fucking laugh.
I laughed. This thing's a little
When-
bitch.
Nah, bro, I was like,
Felt
oh
that.
damn, that shit's tough.
No,
And
I felt it. But
People, okay, Eric, were you in like back in like when Amazing Spider-Man got canceled? Were you one of those people that were like restore or like bring back Andrew?
I was pissed.
Were you one of those people?
He got fired because he was sick and he couldn't show up to a meeting with Sony because
With
Sony and Marvel
Sony
had a deal at
higher-ups.
this point. Yes. So he got fired because he couldn't show. And then that's when they rebooted the whole
Yeah.
thing.
That's
He
fucked.
would have been there. They were like, oh, well, where was the Avengers when he was fighting Lizard? And where was he when he was fighting the Chitauri and Loki? No, you could have fit that in there. Shut up. But
Yeah.
it was just, they were mad at him for that.
So you were part of that kind of like.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Man.
I was too. No, I'm asking. I was too. Because I remember my old Twitter, my old tweets were like, "Oh, bring Andrew back." #. But like people now are like, or I
favorite
guess more
Spider-Man.
people. They're like, yeah, I would want to see more of Andrew's Spider-Man in the future. Not that like I don't want to see more of Tobey's Spider-Man.
God, he's old,
No,
bro.
well-
Come on, let it go.
No, but yeah, like I said, Tobey's trilogies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, the duology. Yeah, we don't say trilogy.
Yeah, duology. But I mean, sure it wasn't a great. The Spider-Man 3 wasn't a for Raimi wasn't such
What
a
Spider-Man
great ending. The first one, the original trilogy.
There's
With Venom and
Spider-Man
such.
3. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
don't
this one has
talk
Venom
about
too.
that one.
No, but I mean, like I said, they gave their own moments. Toby's moment was I would say with Doc Ock when he's like,
Yeah.
actually, Carlos, I want you to say what you told me the other day about that scene.
So when he
'cause
was
that was beautiful.
he was catching up a bit. He was like, "How are you?" And he's like, "I'm trying to do better." And he goes, "Oh yeah, like it's good, so good to see you." And
You've grown
when
or
he
something
said,
like that.
he was like, "How are you?" To me, like just so focused on the movie, it felt like all of these years he's just asking us like how we're doing because we've grown up with this Spider-Man. And
Yeah.
and then it was like, yo, this reminded me of like Steve from Blue's Clues. Like that kind of moment.
When
I
he
was like,
came
ah,
back.
damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like that kind of moment. I loved it. I
That
loved how he
that was
like,
nice.
I liked how he actually cared. For
Yeah, because you didn't really
Toby.
see much of that Doc after. Well, I mean, after he drowned and such, but you don't see much of Adam. Yeah, I mean, just all their interactions with each other. with like, oh, how do you web shooter? How do you do this? I
That
like
was gross.
that was funny.
That was
Dude,
gross.
all right. Question about web shooters.
Okay.
Did they bring back the original SFX for Tobey?
Why?
You mean the
'Cause it
effects
sounded-
artists?
No, the sound effects.
Oh,
Oh,
the
his
sound effects.
flips? Probably.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah.
It sounded
Sony owns it.
similar.
Because I
Yeah.
think Andrews at one point in Spider-Man 1, it had that like little punch when he would web. I heard
Oh,
that
I
at
like that
one
little
point.
like poof of air.
Yeah, no.
I like that smoke of that like poof.
I
smoke.
heard that at one point. I was like, oh shit.
But okay, yeah. So like their interactions were really nice. So like the whole injured back sequence was funny.
Oh,
I think I got a lot of people laughed at that.
He was like, me too.
But one of the things that made me like smile was seeing the leaked Andrew sequence or that scene.
Bro,
like
it's fake. It's fake. It's
It's
fake.
Yeah.
in it. Like
Are
they
you
use that
fucking
same
kidding
shot.
me? Like, are you kidding me?
I love that they use the same shot and like
But they took out, you have web blood because that.
Nah, I don't think it
he
was.
didn't,
didn't
say
say
that.
that.
He didn't say
Yeah.
that. No,
Web
he didn't
block.
say that in web block. That's what he said.
yeah,
not
he
blood.
said blood.
It's because
I
you
was like,
like his bad lip read lip. What is it?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Everyone out there, listen to this. You know exactly what I mean. Yeah, I mean, everyone had their moments, their funny sequences, and like I think I especially really liked that they were in a lab at one point. You don't see that often.
Mhm.
The more like scientific side of Peter.
And they're all smart.
Yeah, and
Even Tobey was, and they never showed that.
no,
Ever.
they did it. I mean,
And not
they
really.
did because
he was in college,
He
but
was, yeah, but he worked with Doc Connors and everything.
yeah, but
and
what
he-
did they show? So you're
No,
like,
I
oh
mean,
shit, yeah.
At the very least, they only were like they used like scientific words when Peter was talking to Osborn or to Doc Ock, but they didn't really show. They didn't really show him being like scientific or like.
I think
too
it was
smart.
only in the second one where they just, briefly mention it, like the most, but they never really showed anything
Yeah,
scientific.
and Andrew's Spider-Man
Andrew
was
made his own shit.
Yeah, he like his whole Oscorp thing,
Yeah,
all
made
based
his
on science.
webbing.
And in this version of Peter, you see him make the webbing in Homecoming, and like you see him like to be a little bit more scientific. But I think in this one, everyone got their sciencey robes on.
His little school or whatever,
Yeah. Oh, that was the school. Yeah.
and
With
then
the
MIT
stools
and
shit.
all that. So like, he's smart.
Yeah. Oh, Ned has Ned and MJ. I guess we'll talk a little bit about him. How you guys?
Ned's gonna be evil at one point.
Carlos and I were
Bro.
talking about it.
Oh my god. The amount of times I've been telling Danny, she's just like, oh, I don't want that to happen. I don't want it to happen.
No,
I'm like,
I understand that it can happen. But I don't like the idea of
Like,
ruining that friendship.
I only said that it'll probably most likely happen towards the last movie of Tom.
I don't think it's gonna happen no more after this.
Why?
He has magic, first of all.
No, I think it's done. I think they're done.
Oh, do you mean Ned's story?
Ned
Yeah.
and Zendaya, I think they're done. I think this was the end of their story.
I
Really?
don't know. I don't.
Yeah, I think
feel
we're
like-
gonna go with next love interest, next friend, which is what Harry and
And-
Gwen.
Gwen.
What if they do something like Spider-Man 3? How they brought in Gwen, but also MJ, and she was like, MJ was jealous and shit.
If they do go back to MJ, they're going back to Zendaya 100%. I don't think they
Yeah.
bring in a different Mary Jane. Like, that's confusing.
Well, first of all, her name is. I also found that really interesting. She's like,
Or
I don't go
Michelle
by
Jones
Watson
Watson.
anymore. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh fuck, what the fuck happened?
See, because her name was Watson, though.
Yeah,
Michelle
MJ.
Jones Watson, Mary
Yeah.
Jane Watson. You wouldn't bring in someone, no.
Yeah, and then that'd be extra confusing for Peter in universe. Like, oh, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. So
No,
I
I
feel like
mean-
we're going to Harry and whoever Gwen's going to be.
I think Harry's for sure, but I think Mary Jane. I don't know. I feel like she'd come back at some point.
Oh, what's that?
Well,
What's
yeah.
that actor's name from Dune?
Yeah,
Timothy
Timothy
Chalamet.
Chalamet.
Yeah. I think Tom wants him as Harry.
We all want him as Harry.
Dude, he would
even-
be
yeah.
badass. Honestly.
100%.
I think you're right. I think Ned's done with like if he comes back, he's not. I don't think he's coming back as Hobgoblin. I
But
think
then
the
you
other
have to
people.
rehash the friendship and then, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's
Yeah, I think they're closing the book on that. But he has magic, or briefly has magic for that.
I mean, family magic.
Yeah, they did talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, that speaking of that family thing, the first time we see Andrew and Tobey come in, oh shit.
They were in universe already. They came through with everyone else.
Yeah. That's surprising to me that like, they were. Well, I mean, I guess people would be dressed as Spider-Man in this universe, so I guess it wouldn't have mattered. In the streets and such. No. I'm saying like people in the streets would be dressed as Spider-Man. Yeah, but you get him like when you saw Andrew, I'm like, that was like the same shot with like the trash can bin and everything, from like when he gets rid of the suit in the comics. But like as soon as you see the big eyes, I'm like, oh, that's Andrew.
Yeah,
that's Andrew.
His eyes are huge compared to everyone else's, and I thought I didn't see that they were big. I thought the other ones were big, like Tom Holland's were. No,
Tom Holland's like in between.
Yeah, well, because the lenses, you know,
yeah, they like move, rotate.
And Tobey's are just they're at an angle, so it's sharp. Weird. Yeah, they're at a weirder angle. Yeah, so. But Andrew was lovely, and then they like tested him and made him slick to his. That was funny. I think I was like, he was like, "Are you serious right now?"
I can stick to Walt. Like, no, do something else. Like,
he said, "Can you get that cobweb?"
Yeah, that's
I saw somebody say that it was such a bad way to bring them into this movie.
Well, they transported with everyone else.
Yeah, it was such a weird moment, but I understood why they did that for like the comedic relief after Aunt May's death. That's why it was. I mean, I like.
Oh well, I thought about. You mean? Wait, actually, explain that again. Why did people like it?
No, like you know how they introduced them into this, right? They were at the home of they were Ned's home, and he just brought them or introduced them.
They were trying to find Peter because he wasn't calling. They were going to press the box.
But yeah, but someone said it was like that's a disappointing way to introduce them into this movie. Like they could have done it somewhere else, but
they were already there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's not like there's no other way, but
I guess
like you got to keep them. You keep them moving.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, like, where would you? I
liked how they. Yeah, I liked how they introduced them though.
Oh my god! And that shot with Peter on the billboard.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad they used
in the rain.
Yeah,
that thing was like I looked at it a couple times. Like that's beautiful. Like just dark. It shows that they can go dark with whatever they do next.
Well, I mean, I think this is the most grounded Spider-Man story in the MCU.
You think so?
Or like darker story in the MCU, like because I mean even like when I saw Far From Home, I'm like, oh, this is pretty dark because he's having his identity revealed and Mysterio like is like he's using his illusions, but this went beyond that in the MCU. Well,
somebody always has to die in one of his movies.
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
No, you're right. I'm trying to look for that concept art for that was just released for.
That was a poster.
Oh no! I'm talking about Actually, we shouldn't post anything spoiler because Brandon's in here. But anyways, it was just the, that. Did you see that Marvel Studios gave, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield like an official name in universe?
Yeah, the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think those are pretty accurate. Like,
I mean, Friendly Neighborhood.
No, see, the reason I think that makes sense is because like he's in his movies, he's like the most I wouldn't say like out of the comic, but like taking that whole comic series and putting it on screen, it's probably the most faithful. I think that's why.
Yes.
I mean, I know we've been calling him like Sam Raimi Spider-Man for like the longest time.
Because he didn't have no type of title. It was the first one, so you didn't have to. You know what I mean? You could just go, and then there's the Amazing Spider-Man, which he was Spider-Man. Yeah. And then fucking all this extra one over here with
Tom Holland.
Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home.
Like another title, or just gonna be MCU Spider-Man?
Spectacular Spider-Man.
I was thinking that.
Just do it. Just do it. Cool. Spectacular Spider-Man trilogy.